Yo, man, Bootleg podcast special guest. We have got the homie Ekoh representing Las Vegas, Nevada.
What's good? What's good? What's happening?
Hey, welcome, man. First of all, congrats on everything, man. I've been kind of like watching your come up for a couple of years. It seems like it's real organic. You've been putting in a lot of work on the independent shit. Like, you about to go on. Is this your first headlining tour?
It is. Yeah.
And your album that just came out did great on iTunes.
Yep. We got to number 2.
Well,
just below Pop Smoke.
Congrats. Well, yeah, I mean, that's
yeah, that's
yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting.
Right. But congrats on all that, man. For people who don't know, kind of give them a little bit of like background of who you are and what you do, man.
Yeah, my name is Ekoh. I'm a MC from Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been doing this shit for, can I cuss on here?
Yeah, of course.
Dope. Like 10 years now, independently putting out music, just building it by myself, essentially. And yeah, we've just been building up the fan base organically, building up a community around the music and around the content, and a thing we call Heart Hop, the thing the fans kind of branded on their own and I kind of ran with. And it's been a slow build.
So your genre is Heart Hop. Is that what the fans call it?
That's what the fans call it.
Wait, give me why that?
I think a lot of my fans kind of gravitated towards the more emotionally grounded lyrics.
You're vulnerable in your lyrics.
The vulnerability in the lyrics, and not even necessarily the vulnerability, but just and I hate the word realness because that's such a broad
right. Yeah, I'll fucking keep it real, man.
Yeah, the real shit. But it's more like I just rap about my life and what I'm going through, what I feel, or the shit I like, or you know what I mean? I've never been the type to kind of rap about shit I don't have or money I don't have or anything like that. And so I forget who exactly said it, but someone just branded it. And they were like, yo, it's not hip hop, it's Heart Hop. It's coming from the heart. And I was like, cool, I'm going to run with that. And just kind of took it, and it became a thing. I mean, it took a while to catch on, but it started to, and now the fans kind of fuck with the heavy. So
what do you think was like your first big break? If you had to like, think of like a certain moment that happened that you kind of noticed things start to...
Oh, I know what it was. I remember. I did a contest for Futuristic.
Oh, I remember when Zach would do those,
yeah. I forget which one it was. It was
him in Action, right? Would do those, yep.
Yeah, it was one of those back in the day, and I just did a free verse over one of the beats.
Right.
And it was a time when I'd been working with some producers out here in LA, and they kind of, put me on the back burner because they were doing some other shit. And I was just kind of in the spot where like, what am I going to do? Where do I want to take my career? And what is my content like?
Right.
And I had this beat, and at this point I was like, I'm just going to fucking talk about the shit I want to talk about. I'm just going to be me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like dropping some bars that were like funny to me, or I was like, this shit's kind of funny. So I just, started doing, whether it's about like comic books or, just bar heavy stuff or lyricism, and just going off on this beat, and it like took off, and people super connected with every little facet of it. And I was like, oh, this is dope. I can just be myself.
And people like it.
And not everybody will like it, but the ones who do fuck with it heavy. So I'll just
I think when artists realize that the path to least resistance is being yourself.
It's the easiest way, but it's so hard.
Yeah, because you think you got to be something, because you know what it is people, I call it pocket watching. Everyone's looking at what everyone else is doing.
Exactly.
And then they're thinking that they need to do that to make it, when the best way is just be yourself, be relatable, tell your story. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I think it's also difficult when you grow up listening to a bunch of people and you're like, well, this is what I like. You know what I mean? I like what this dude talks about and all this kind of shit. And so it's hard to wrap your head around the fact that my story is unique.
Right.
And my story is something that somebody would care about or want to listen to, or that my story is somehow, my specific story is somehow relatable to somebody else.
Right.
Somehow. You know what I mean? But you're right. Once you crack that code and figure that out to yourself, it becomes a lot easier. It's like, all I have to do is me. And then realizing that not everybody's going to fuck with it.
Yeah. And that's all right.
That's life.
That's 100% right.
You know what I mean? But the ones that don't, fuck them. Just move on.
Yeah. How does, because obviously you say you've been doing stuff for 10 years. Vegas is an interesting market for hip hop. There's been a storied history in Vegas when it comes to like certain artists. Like back in the day, Mr. Finley was popping, and there's
Doomsday.
Yeah, there was like obviously like a dope wave when I did radio in Vegas, like Sean Rose, Marion Wright, the homie Kev 702 was out there doing his thing. But Interstate Fats, Free Fats, Dizzy,
absolutely Free Fats,
Dizzy Wright, shout out to Dizzy, aka Dizzy D Flashy. But Vegas is an interesting city because we don't look at it as people don't realize that there is culture in Vegas. And anytime I ever tell anybody I loved living there, they're like, how? There's no culture. There's no scene. I'm like, no, that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, there's a real culture in Vegas that people don't even understand. Like,
yeah, you have to really dig deep to find it. It's not on the, they don't flash.
It's not on the strip.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's not on the strip. Here's the thing that I've always thought was a main catalyst for that is that people in Vegas have never been used to community. We've never had a sports team to rally behind.
Right.
We never had.
And UNLV sucked at everything for the. I mean, they had a couple of years. No, but they had a couple. No, I mean, in the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
When I lived there, they were good for 1 year. But outside of that, UNLV has been rough since the 90s.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
But if you're from LA, it's like
there's the Raiders, there's the Dodgers,
there's all shit. At least something
Lakers.
that you're used to coming together as a community and representing or like coming behind. Vegas is all transient. Mm-hmm. Like not a lot of people.
Everyone's from LA too, or the Bay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then so there's not a lot of people that necessarily represent Vegas or even rally behind Vegas artists. And because of that, because nobody's blown up out of Vegas, I think everybody's like chomping at the bit, and it causes this almost. It's an atmosphere of people. Everybody's mad hungry. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's hard to see somebody else start to pop, and there becomes a lot of jealousy just within the scene because nobody's really popped huge out of there yet. You know what I mean?
I mean, Dizzy
did it, that was like, that changed a lot of things in Vegas because a lot of people were like, it's possible.
Right.
That was the one time people were like, okay, you can.
He was on the freshman cover. He was, I mean, touring the world, and the Funk Volume thing at its peak was a fucking movement.
Yep.
And
but
now
nobody fucks with you until you blow up outside of Vegas. That's the thing that's tough. It's hard to blow up within the city.
Even like Baby Keem right now is like one of the hottest new rappers in the world, but I don't hear him like repping Vegas like that. Like people don't know he's from Vegas unless you kind of know he's from Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
Dizzy, I feel like you kind of knew where he was from.
Yeah, Dizzy represents for sure.
Yeah.
But there's even like, if you look at the bands, there's mad bands that have blown up out of Vegas. The Killers, Imagine Dragons, Panic at the Disco.
Bro, I had no idea all those bands were from Vegas.
All those bands are from Vegas. They're
Holy
all from
shit.
If I'm not mistaken,
those are like 3 of the biggest bands ever in the last like 30 years.
If I'm not mistaken, I might be, so don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they're all like from the same Mormon sect because they're all like.
Are they all Mormon?
I know like Imagine Dragons.
That makes sense.
I might be wrong. Don't quote me on this.
Imagine Dragons being Mormon makes a lot of sense.
But they all blew up, but nobody fucked with them until I remember Imagine Dragons shows before they were big. Nobody fucking went to those shows.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they blow the fuck up, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, yeah, Imagine Dragons, Vegas. It's like you didn't give a fuck until they were big.
Damn, I had no clue. Shout out to Vegas.
There you go.
Imagine fucking Dragons, the Mormon greats. Choose the right. How's your Mormon fan base?
It's growing.
It's growing.
I'm trying to tap into it. Apparently that's the move.
Are you going to Boise or Salt Lake?
Salt Lake. Dude, the Salt Lake tickets are some of the best tickets selling. So apparently it's popping.
Choose the right, man. Hey, and Mormon. Hey, listen, I went to high school in Mesa, Arizona, which is the 3rd largest Mormon population. Actually, 2nd largest behind Salt Lake, and then 3rd is Boise. I did radio in Boise too, so I know a lot about Mormons. And in high school, the Mormon chicks were with all the shits. Yo,
I played house party. The house parties I played in Utah were the most crazy shows I've probably ever played.
Yeah, and all the Mormon kids, I feel like because they were raised the way they were in high school, they all were like rebelling against their parents. So like, there were Mormon kids at my school doing heroin, like at 16. Yo. I was like, what the? They were the only kids at the school doing heroin too. It was like a real Mormon thing. Like all the hard drugs, these motherfuckers was going to Rocky Point, Mexico, buying somas, crushing them up and sniffing them in weight training. I said, damn.
That's the move?
I guess it was.
But even like, dude, when you're in Utah, the liquor is less alcohol.
Yeah, I couldn't do Utah, man. I was there once for like a 6-hour layover, and I like try to like find a place to eat. I have friends that do radio out there. Shout out my guy DJ Juggy, but I'm like, man, I just couldn't do it. Yeah. My level of debauchery does not exist there.
That's why you gotta stay in Vegas.
Yeah,
you can match.
Shout out to Vegas, Spearmint Rhino, man. Best hot wings in the city.
Palomino.
Palomino. See,
love
what
to the
people don't realize about the
Palomino.
Palomino's like on the end of the other side of the
That's
street.
what you know if you're a Vegas local, you
You
know
go to
the
Palomino, you might get fucking killed too. You know what I mean? That's the that's what side? That's like right past like downtown.
It's technically North Las Vegas.
Yeah. So yeah.
Which is why they're able. I'm just dropping knowledge for you guys. Which is why they're the only strip club that can serve alcohol and be fully nude. Because they're technically outside the Las Vegas jurisdiction.
Yeah, North Vegas is the part. Like when I first moved to Vegas, the first time I came into town, and my place wasn't going to be ready for like 2 days, and we decided it was a good idea to stay at the Texas Station.
Oh wow,
was that was an interesting stay. But that was like for like 2 days. Like I was like at the Texas Station. There was like a place across the street with a $6.99 prime rib. It was like a hole in the wall.
Yep.
I was like, this is amazing. I could eat here every day. This is when I'm like broke. I've never seen no real money in my life. I was like, oh my God, I could eat steak every night out here for like $10.
And then you have the steak and you're like, I don't want to eat
like this shit is horrible.
Yeah.
It's like rubber. It's like a tire.
But it's weird. Once you leave Vegas, every time I go to a different city, I'm like, all right, it's 10 o'clock. Where am I going to eat? And the whole fucking town shut down. I'm like, what is happening right now?
You know what? The hardest thing, when I left Vegas and went back to Phoenix to do radio, the weirdest thing for me to get used to was not being able to walk outside of the bar or club with my drink.
Yeah.
I'd like go to leave the club with my full beer I just bought, and like security would try to like jump me. I'm like, oh fuck, man. Vegas, you just walk outside, and I love Vegas. Vegas is near and dear to my heart.
Same.
I love sports gambling. Well, shout out to the Raiders, man. That Allegiant Stadium is looking great.
Have you been inside?
Nah, but my boy's got suites. He's got the suites, so we're going to one of the Chargers games. I think in January I'm gonna go, so I'm excited. Have you been inside?
I have not.
Are you a Raider fan now?
I have to be now.
Were you a different football team?
I was always a Saints fan.
I
was always a Saints fan, but I kind of stopped watching the NFL in the last few years because I just got fucking tired of all the other shit going on with it.
Right.
I was like,
I took 2 years off over the Kaepernick shit. I had to take 2 years off. I was like, man, they're really blackballing this guy. I was like, ugh. But then, Jay-Z became a part. Made me feel good about being a football fan.
Yeah, then you go back. So yeah, I'll be a Raider. I mean, I'll fucking represent the Raiders.
Golden Knights
all day.
NBA teams coming next.
Golden Knights. You think? I think they said MLB.
Or MLB. I mean, listen, nobody wants to watch the fucking 51s. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Their stadium is dope though.
I've never been.
They got a new one.
Never been.
They got a new one.
I like the hats though.
They got like a nickel beer or some shit.
That sounds about
That's
right.
the only way they can get people out to the game.
We were having a little off camera conversation about just kind of like the white rapper universe. And
yes,
there's very interesting pockets of the white rapper universe that you've done a very good job of not diving into. There's obviously the guys like Jack Harlow and G-Eazy and the pop dude. No, I wouldn't call him pop because
that was more main.
But yeah, like Jack Harlow's got hit records, like but and then obviously there's on the other extreme there's this weirdo MAGA shit going on. I don't even want to say any of these guys' names, but there's that weird country rap. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's its own thing, right? And then there's guys like Chris Webby and Ritz, and but you've done a really good job, I think, of like doing your own way without having to kind of depend on some of the more easier low-hanging fruit ways to kind of garner attention or a fan base as an independent underground white rapper.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
I mean, I think it's even just as an independent rapper in general, even white or not, there's still low-hanging fruit that people can go for, and
Facts.
just different, like, even I don't even clout chasey shit's not even really, it's not even clout chasey, but there's a lot of like the shock value that people will do to try and get, people like to be upset, people like to be angry, people like, to rally behind shit, and it's a weird thing to navigate, but honestly, growing up, coming up in the Vegas scene helped me with that.
Right.
Because when I came up in the scene, nobody really fucked with me. And I learned really quickly that I don't care if rappers fuck with me.
Right.
I'm not making music for other rappers. I mean, obviously it's nice to be,
accepted
and respected by your peers. But at the end of the day, that's not paying my bills.
100%.
You know what I mean? And that's not bringing people out to shows. Rappers ain't going to come out to shows. I'm trying to get fans. And so it was always like, if these people aren't going to fuck with me, I'm not going to spend my time trying to get people to like me or whatever. I'm just going to go over here and work by myself and figure it out and do this over here. And I don't need to be involved with the drama or the bullshit. It might take a little bit longer. It's going to be, you know, it might take a little bit more work and a little bit more of a grind, but I'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And then when I got to the next level and there was other people and I was like, oh, maybe that'd be cool to do some of this person or whatever. And it's like, if people don't fuck with me or, you know, I'm not trying, like at this point, I don't care. Like people are like, who do you want to collab with? I'm like, dude, I don't care.
Whoever makes sense. Whoever wants to collab with me.
Like all the collabs, exactly. Like I'm not ever going to chase somebody down to work with me.
Right.
All the collaborations I've done are all people I fuck with and are like homies.
Right.
And that I think are dope as fuck.
That's important, man.
Because I care about the song more than anything else. And it's like, if someone sends me a verse that's trash, like even if I pay for it or some shit, I'm not using it.
Have you ever had to pay? Wait, have you ever paid for a verse and it came back and you didn't use it?
No.
Okay, well that's good.
No, but I always knew in my head, like if this, but that's the same thing. Like I don't go after anyone I'm not a fan of or I don't fuck with.
Who's somebody you've had to cash out for a verse?
Futuristic.
Okay.
The first one we did. Trying to think if there was someone else. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
The Zach Man.
Yeah, the first one we did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which I don't ever care about doing that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, that's your business. It's how you work.
Right. I mean, that's how everyone pays their bills, right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like I don't got it. Whatever. Right. I'll fucking, you know what I mean? That's your business. I don't care. I'll go for it.
Are you, at this point in time, you're a full-time rapper, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what were you doing to fund your rap career prior to you being a full-time rapper?
I was always working like 1 to 2 jobs while I was doing this shit. So the last job I had was working at the day club at one of the beach clubs.
Oh.
I was busting tables.
Which one?
Encore.
Oh, shit, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, that's some Vegas shit.
That's some totally Vegas shit.
People don't understand that, like, you can, like, be an engineer in New Jersey and quit your job and go valet park cars in Las Vegas and make more money.
I made more
certain
money.
Casinos.
I made more money busting tables than I've ever made in my entire life.
Hey, I don't doubt it, especially at the Encore fucking day club.
Yeah. It was dope, and I loved it. But the best thing about it is it funded my music career. You know what I mean?
You make 6 figures busting tables?
Not quite. Close.
But close. Definitely close. I remember I met a limo driver who picked us up from, I don't remember, some strip club. It's probably the
Rhino.
It was either, it wasn't the Rhino. It was
Crazy Horse 3.
No, it was Sapphire.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Walmart of strip clubs. It's so big in there. But
that's the Costco.
We were shooting the shit with this guy who's a limo driver, and he was like, yeah, man, I moved out here 3 years ago, and he's got an engineering degree, right? And he was like, I make $250,000 a year just driving limos out here.
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck?
It's crazy. You don't know. And if you're in it, you're like, I shouldn't be making this kind of money. But also at the same time, fuck it. If it's here, someone's going to make it. So
yeah, my cousin's ex-wife moved to Vegas, and her husband is a valet guy at Mandalay Bay, and he's fucking paid.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
The reason that, like, if you're working at a pool, you're working 3 days a week.
Right.
8 months a year.
And you're fucking caking those 3 days.
Yeah.
Because you get tipped off of whatever they tip on that table, right?
You can get tipped. Well, there's a tip pool, so everything's all pooled. But then if you're a busser, you can get a side tip from a table.
So you get some fucking Saudi Arabian prince in there.
Yeah, and if they fuck with you and you're like cool with them and shit, they'll drive like 5 racks, whatever.
Dude, trust.
You know what I mean? Like that's the spot to be at.
What's the most you ever got tipped?
I think that like
5 bands.
Yeah.
Whew. Do you remember like who it was? Like, was it anybody famous or just some rich dude?
Nah, it's never famous people tipping like that.
Yeah, you never, dude. For sure. You go to Vegas and you'll be like next to some dude.
It's the dude that you're like,
who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, he looks like all fucking, they just dress like I'm like, this dude's a dork. You know what I mean? But then this dude's caked up.
Yeah.
He just fucking pulls out the band and is like, yo, go clock out and just kick it with me.
That's fire.
Like, all right, fuck it. You know what I mean? You tell your manager, like, yo, he said if I kick it with him, he's going to spend. And they're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, there's a culture about Vegas that I love. And that's anybody who came up there or has like lived there long enough. Like, it's almost like, it reminds me a lot of like Miami or LA, where or New York, where I feel like everyone there is kind of on the hustle.
Yeah,
Like everyone there is getting their money, which is why I don't have a daughter. If I ever had a daughter, I would never live in Vegas.
Do you think the buzzers make money in Vegas?
The bottle chicks are killing it. But not only that, I just know I lived there when I was like 20, 21, 22. And all the girls I used to fuck with either ended up on a pole or on Backpage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a rough one.
Never walk in the casinos.
That's a rough one.
But yo, Vegas is wild, bro. Because if you're a young lady and you look good out there, it's so easy to make real money quick. Not even doing no hoe shit, just doing the bottle service shit. Or doing like, you could be a hostess at a strip club. You don't even got to dance.
Yeah, you could just be one of the...
But if you dance, you're fucking making real fucking money.
You're caking up.
Oh my God, these girls, I would be fucking these bitches at the Rhino, and these girls would be making like ridiculous amounts of money in one night.
Well,
like,
they fly in from LA just for the weekend.
Yes. Or they'll have...
everybody's like, you got to take the Friday morning flight.
Yo, what's
from LA to
what's
Vegas.
the name of the fucking condo high rise that all the strippers... The panorama
tower.
Man, you know how many times I've been up in there, man? I used to sleep with so many women. I'd be like, damn, all the stripper bitches live at the Panorama Towers.
Yeah.
It's like stripper heaven up in that motherfucker, man. And all of them don't live there full time. They just have that spot for when they're in town. And there's like 4 bedrooms and something. Like, I remember I'd be in some of these condos in Vegas, and every room had a stripper that'd be their room. They'd just be 4 stripper homies. They'd come together, rent a spot. And when they were in town, they were in town. Shout out to Vegas, man. I love it there.
Just keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep running up. Give
all right, well,
Vegas
listen, man. Your tour starts Sunday, right?
This Sunday, yeah.
20 dates.
Yep.
You can still get tickets wherever you're at.
Yeah, I think there's 2. We're doing Summerfest and Life is Beautiful. So those ones.
You're going to be on. You're doing Life is Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Are you excited? Is that like your first huge festival?
I played the first year Life is Beautiful, but I was on like a local stage, like a little small one.
Yeah, those little local stages are kind of whack.
Yeah.
You're on like a main guy now.
Exactly.
Well, congrats, man. That's
Thank
huge.
You, man. Summerfest too. Summerfest is gonna be fire. That shit's gonna be crazy.
I've heard of that one.
That's a festival in Milwaukee. I think Run the Jewels is headlining.
Oh, that'd be hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
So you got some festival dates. Are you doing a homecoming show?
I'm starting at home.
So you're starting Sunday in Vegas. Where at?
At 24 Oxford. It's in the Virgin Hotel, which used to be the Hard Rock.
Okay, yeah. So it was like
it was vinyl.
Vinyl, yeah. I saw Schoolboy Q there.
That's my favorite venue. I love that spot.
Great venue.
It's a small. It's
you know what's crazy is you remember that shitty ass venue that was on Fremont that like everyone would perform at, like
Beauty
Ritz?
Bar?
No. It's like upstairs.
Upstairs?
LV fucking.
Oh yeah, fuck that place,
dude. Now that's where iHeartRadio is.
No shit.
So they turned that whole fucking venue.
Las Vegas Country Saloon.
Yes. Tech Nine. I see Tech Nine there. I saw Ritz there. I saw all kinds of motherfuckers.
I opened for Tech there back in the day. The sound there was garbage because the side was a giant window.
It was the
all
worst.
The sound bounced off it and it sounded like dog shit.
Yeah, so I'm on the radio in Vegas now and for iHeart, so we go to town to sign on, and like I'm like, yo, this is the fucking. This used to be a concert venue, like a really shitty one.
Yeah. There was a lot of shows that. Did you know Hydro out there?
Yeah, he used to do the underground.
Hip-hop roots.
I used to DJ. I did that night a couple times.
I used to play those way back in the day.
We might have been, Hydro. I remember. It used to be kind of just like the boom bap, like backpacky.
Yeah.
I did a couple. Me and my boy Sam I Am DJ there a couple times. Hip hop roots. I remember that.
Yep.
Hydro was like the white dude with dreadlocks.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that guy. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to white guys with dreadlocks just in general. I never understood that.
It's a thing.
I suppose it is. Hey,
maybe not. I haven't seen it lately.
True. Thank God.
It's not.
Anyway, look. Your album is out.
Album is out.
Go get the album. And are you putting out anything else the rest of the year? Or
for sure.
Okay, so there's gonna be more music coming.
Yeah. I got his track coming with Apathy. It's fire.
Shout out to Apathy. He is a very good dude.
That dude sent me back a verse today. It's fucking crazy.
I think he's doing real estate too.
Yeah, crushing it.
He's also what is the name of the? He's a Freemason.
Is he?
Yeah, he be banging that shit too.
I did not know that. Apathy
is a Freemason.
That's wild.
Yeah, that fool got the ring and he be repping that shit. So you might want to tap in with him.
I might try. Fuck
just
it.
on some Illuminati shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, I'm dropping music the entire rest of the year, so there's no stopping.
Well, there it is, man. Shout out to Ekoh. Look, there's gonna be another YouTube video where he's rapping freestyle. So click on that next. All right, let's go. It's the Bootleg Camp Podcast.
Let's go.